Well guys, on this here, I'm going to use a 13/16 socket on my impact and loosen these bolts real quick. Now I got to get these 4 bolts off. Those are the ones that hold that little rollover bar. Well guys, I was a little off. They're not 3/4, they're 18 millimeter. Well, and these are going to come all completely off. We are going to have axle grease just drip, so I'm going to get that pan right under it so I don't make a mess. And because I didn't take that fuel tank and this cradle off, I'm going to have to get 2 of those bolts with a wrench, and hopefully they'll pop out enough. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to be able to pull them back enough just to drop this little I was going to try and see if I could wiggle it out with a floor jack. I'm kind of glad I didn't. That thing is pretty heavy. I mean, if I would have tried, that thing would have dropped that floor somewhat hard and it might have broken something. So I'm kind of glad I used the hoist. That thing is very, very heavy, guys. I had never removed one, so I just found out the hard way that this thing is heavy. So, well, as you can see, these are our discs. All right, and there's got little Allen bolts holding these little tabs. You don't have to remove them. You can pull the tab back, and you can slide the steel out of there. Kind of hard to get this one-handed, guys, so bear with me. There you go. That's one of our steels. It's a little scored. I'm gonna see if I can clean this up with a light little sand. I'll see if I can make these work. They look pretty damaged. And there's a disc. No friction material left on it. This thing is all just steel. And give me 1 second, guys. Now that we got that little shaft, I'm going to pull out the clutch. This is supposed to have friction material on it, and it's all steel on both sides. So that one is on. Let's go ahead and get our second little disc, friction disc, or what? Not friction. This is our what's it called, like on a transmission? Steel. All right, that's the second one, and here's our second clutch. No clutch material. And this has got that little piece left on there, and nothing else all the way around. So both our clutch discs are gone. Our little, I want to call this a pressure plate, seems to be fine. Our little gears are okay. There's not that much debris in there. I thought I was going to find a whole bunch of junk, but it doesn't look that bad. This is our little arm that applies the brakes. It rotates that pressure plate, and at the same time that it rotates, it pushes outward, so that applies the brakes. Well, let me get the little disc ready, bring them back here and put this together, and then we'll have to worry about reinstalling this heavy sucker. So let me get these clutches in place. Here's a little disc out of the bag, friction material all the way around on both sides, and basically you just pop it in place. You grab your steel and pop it in place. Sorry about the camera, guys. I'm doing this one-handed, and all I do is pull the little tab outward, and this disc falls in place. All right. And well, let me go ahead and get that other one ready and install that one. The discs themselves, they are not labeled. It doesn't say in or out, so I'm going to assume that they go in whichever direction or way. So pop that sucker in place, and then get my steel. And if you can see, the steel has this little round bump, which it will only fit in one place, and then it's got a small little square which goes on that side. So basically it goes in this way. Alright, so pop it in place, pop it in place, pop it into the little groove, and then pull this one outward, and then it locks in place. That there is our clutches installed back on the shaft. And all you got to do is get this, come on, there's one, there's two, oh, sorry about that, there's one, there's two, and then you just have to fit it into those gears in back. I don't know if you guys can see that, but those gears, there we go. Shaft is back on. There's no gasket between. I use the engine hoist and a floor jack to get it aligned. I got that shaft inside that little bearing. That'll hold it up in place. Then I move my strap backwards a little bit. Now I got to get that jack under the belt over here, get a little 2x4 so it can actually help, like, take some weight off of it while I wiggle that shaft into place. That shaft's got two pins. There you can see one of them right there, and the other one's over here on top. Those are guide pins, and there's two locations where it goes on the body. So all you gotta do is wiggle that sucker in, get two bolts started, then I can use the bolts to kind of get it, slap it into place, and then I can go ahead and get the rest of them and tighten them. So sorry about not recording me kind of messing around, just having a hard time trying to get this sucker in. I didn't record that, but I'll get it on the other side. We still got this side to do. Go ahead and remove those 18mm bolts. I already have some of them off. I think I got two that are left. Then I'm going to go ahead and pry that axle off, bring it up to the side. I'm going to stand it on its on the shaft so that I can show you guys how I remove those clutches, the steels, and how they go back together. All right, let me. Well, guys, there's axle. Again, these little tabs, pull them out, release the steel. Well, we gotta pull the shaft. Pull the clutch. No clutch material. Remove the steel. And no clutch material. This little plate seems to be all right. And when you apply the clutch, like I said, I mean, this thing does like a little turn, and at the same time, it pushes outward. It's got these little return springs. So that's how your brakes actually apply. Well guys, there's the axle. I already got it up on there. I got some of the bolts tight. I still have to finish tightening the rest. I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Get those 4 bolts to tighten down that rollover little cage. Get brake rods connected and adjusted. Add hydraulic grease or hydraulic fluid and take it for a run. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble the rest, guys. I am not going to record the rest. I mean, I'm pretty sure, well, no, I'll get the rest. I'll get in time lapse. Well guys, decided to pull the screen off of the side little port. There's a cap, and well, wait till you guys see the screen. Let me show you. Look at all that junk on there. All that material that broke off the brake ended up in this tube. So I'm gonna have to clean this one out and then reinstall it. I didn't show you guys me taking it off because it was going to be a mess, but I'll show you guys when I put it back in. Let me go ahead and get this sucker cleaned. Well guys, now you can actually see straight through that screen. There's still a little bit of debris on there, but it doesn't want to come out. It's between the screens, but that's way better than what it was. So let me go ahead and insert this back in and start putting it together. Guys, this is where the screen is at on the driver's side of the tractor. You have a access. I'll show you in a bit. The screen goes right there, and then you have this little cover. It goes right over that hole. It's got an O-ring. Make sure that O-ring is on before you install it. And then you got 2 12mm bolts that keeps this little cover in place. So put that back on. The guy didn't mention that his power steering was getting a little bit hard. And well, we kind of knew there's going to be a mess in that little filter. So well guys, let me go ahead and finish putting this on and tightening it up. Then we'll go ahead and add on this particular one, the 5105. It takes 8.5 gallons of hydraulic fluid. So that's what we're going to put on there. It's got a side glass in the back. I'll show you guys in a bit when we get to it. Let me finish this off. Well guys, I did the little cleaning the filter with the tire removed. It's just a lot easier. And let me show you, I already got the passenger side fender and wheel on. So now all I got to do is kind of finish this side off, add the fluid, and we should be ready for a test drive. Well guys, we're almost done. I already got that fender. Let me go ahead and get that wheel. I'm going to get it in time lapse, and then we'll go ahead and start it and see what it does. Well guys, I don't know if you saw, well I know I did it in time lapse, but what I did here is I set up the tire. I set up a bolt off to a side. The tire was lower than what it should be. Then I went to the other side, spun the tire on the passenger side. The bolt, I brought it up to the center, evened out the tire, got another bolt right next to it with the ring, pulled this one off, adjusted the ring, and then added the rest of my bolts. So this was done. I got the oil in it. I got 8.5 gallons of it in there. Cleaned the screen, got the brakes. Well, let me go ahead and lift this sucker up, get those jack stands out of the way, bring it down, and try it out. I'll be back with you guys in a bit. Let me go ahead and get this tractor ready for its little test run. Well guys, the tractor's done. I did some, my road was a little messed up, so I kind of took advantage of having that tractor. So I went ahead and cleaned out the entrance and covered up a couple of holes. So pretty much things working great. It's got brakes. Well, I mean, the tractor had nothing. I just did the brakes, but might as well take advantage of the tractor being here. I did a little bit of work. Well guys, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Hey, like and comment.